Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of the Bolt City Podcast. Did I jump the gun right there, Mario? You gave me the look like I started talking too early.
No,
Am I
no,
good?
you're beautiful. You hit it right on the dot like a professional.
I was messing up somewhere there. I have no idea. I'm just like, all right, let's go. Again, Bolt City Podcast. Appreciate everybody joining us. As Pacific time, it's actually 2:30. Normally, it's an hour earlier for us, but I appreciate everybody that jumps in live. Fantastic. Again, I will ask you to do the same thing. Click that thumbs up. We want that thumbs up. We need the thumbs up to keep the show going. And I always say click the subscribe button, but everyone other podcast says, guys, smash it. I don't even know what the hell that's supposed to mean, but go ahead and smash
That's lame.
If,
don't say
yeah,
that.
if
I
it
hate
works.
people that say that. It's the worst, dude.
Yeah.
We're not those people.
What's up with
Just
that?
click it like a normal person.
click it nice, click it hard. If you want to smash, smash. But we're not going to tell you to smash.
So again, if you're new to the show, again, I'm Dave Palais. That's Josh Palais to my side, and that's Mario Heron right there at the bottom of the screen. I'm in San Diego. Josh is in Nashville. Mario's in Chicago. You can't hold that against us because this is what people say all the time about Southern California sports fans. A bunch of transplants. We just happen to transplant to different cities outside of Los Angeles. That's just kind of the way it worked. We're reverse transplants. That's the way it worked out. Ignore the fact that Mario has that Bears helmet back there. We've told the story before. It was a family gift. It was important to the family. Stop accusing Mario of being a spy and a Bears fan, trying to find out what the Chargers are doing behind the scenes. Josh, lifelong Charger fan. Everything's fine. Okay, we're good. We're all good. We're all on the same side. So stop pointing fingers. We got enough problems with people pointing fingers. Charger football guys, big news right after we got off there on our last show. We find out Keenan Allen's no longer a Charger. And people are like, you got to get back on. You got to do it right now. You don't tell us when to work. We'll tell you when we're going to do a show. And right now, this is when we're doing the show. We're going to talk about both wide receivers. We're going to talk about an old Charger coming back to town. Different news that has happened with the Chargers is that we get towards this draft. And then, of course, there's always draft news. So there's a lot to talk about today, guys, as we move forward. But let's start with Keenan Allen. That's what everyone wants to know, what's going on. And Keenan Allen going to the Bears, couple different things there with Keenan Allen going to the Bears. Mars, since you're in the city of Chicago, what is the expectation of Keenan Allen before we talk about how it's going to basically affect the Chargers?
The expectation is that the Bears win the North. But that's actually the expectation right now, is that they have everything settled. They have everything ready now. You're getting a QB that's supposed to be this QB of the generation. If you believe that, you believe that. If you don't, you don't. It's up to you. But I think the reality of it is that Caleb Williams is walking into a beautiful situation where he has two number one receivers, one that's been around the block multiple times in Keenan Allen, and one in DJ Moore, who's still young and a very talented receiver that he can grow with. And then you have talented tight ends, and you have Gerald Everett, who's a great tight end number two, along with the defense that probably needs edge rusher in the draft, and then they're going to be pretty competitive. The expectation right now is that they win the NFC North, or that they compete for that title in the 2024 season. A lot of Bears fans I heard this past week was, they fleeced the Chargers. I just think at that age, Josh, that was just the price for Allen plus the contract. Like, you're getting him for 1 year. Like, the Bears, the odds of them re-signing Allen to this max deal or whatever you want to call it after this, I think is very, very low. I think it's more of a rental type of situation. But at the end of the day, Josh, the Chargers asked him to take, a little less money. And he said no, because based off his production. And to be honest with you, I don't really blame him for that. Like, he did his job. He always showed up. He was there every single time. And I don't blame him for going, why should I have to suffer when I was the one that always showed up and played?
Couldn't agree more. When Dave said that we should have done, or when people were saying we should do a show right after the Keenan Allen trade, I'm really happy we didn't, because I was so upset about the trade that I needed a few days to cool off. It's like when you go through a breakup, you feel these emotions and you probably say some things you shouldn't say. That's how I feel right now. I feel like I've let the trade happen. I've thought about it for a few days, and now we're doing a podcast. If I'm Keenan Allen, I'm like, screw you guys. I showed up every game that I was healthy and played my ass off. I'm one of like two guys on this whole team, me and Khalil Mack, that actually produced at the level we're supposed to, and even higher. I'm with Keenan Allen. I would not have taken a pay cut. Joey Bosa can take the pay cut. Khalil Mack probably shouldn't have taken a pay cut, but he did it too. And every single other player on the team can take a freaking pay cut except for me. I'm the guy on the team that actually plays around here. So I'm on Keenan Allen's side. I understand why the Chargers made the trade. They can't. They probably are going to end up drafting Marvin Harrison Jr. now or Malik Neighbors, and they can't afford Keenan Allen if they want to build a team that has so many holes. But I am on Keenan Allen's side. Don't ask me to take the pay cut when I'm the guy that shows up to play every Sunday.
All right, just want to make sure I have this right. Were they asking for a pay cut or restructure the contract to make the cap friendly? Because next year it's set to be.
Yeah, what's the difference?
No, it's not
though?
the same thing.
That's the
Not
same.
saying, hey, I'm going to give you the money. I'm just not going to give you all the money right now. You're going to get the money. You just aren't going to get it all this year. We need to basically make room because we aren't cap friendly right now, and we have plans to change this roster. But if you hang with us for 2 years, we're going to get you your money, and we have a lot of room in the cap in 2025.
I heard pay cut.
You see what I'm?
And if somebody in the comments has something different, please let us know. But I heard pay cut. Those are the words I used.
Okay.
I heard. What about you, Mario? What did you hear?
That's why I heard that they wanted to take a little bit of a pay cut to stay around and like kind of help the Chargers out. And he was like, no.
Okay, so we'll stay with this right now. Is that I'm never a fan of when a guy leaves a team and then you rip him, unless you're ripping him before when he was here. You know what I mean? Like when Bosa ends up with another team one day, I think it's fair that I've ripped him almost every single day while he was still
was a
wearing
pay
the
cut.
uniform. So
In the comments, it was a pay cut.
okay, so again, I'm glad we have it right. So with Keenan Allen, I was a fan of Keenan Allen being here, man. I was told him a million times. I think he's one of the best receivers in the league, one of the best receivers in Charger history. None of that stuff is, man, that's an interesting opinion. Everybody thinks the same thing. But when you say Keenan Allen showed up every single day, did he? I mean, dude, missed a lot of games. Did he?
Dude, we really going to go down
Hold
this
on.
right now?
What?
I
Oh,
agree.
we will, but I'm not done. Hold on. Before you rip my head off, let me finish what I'm saying. He was injured a lot. Best abilities, availability. Missed a lot of games. Missed games last year.
Now we got
too.
people saying it's a restructure.
Okay.
What? Come on. What was it, guys? Help us out.
Dude, I had restructure. Everything I had was restructure. So forget it.
Who
My
the hell
point
cares?
is,
She's gone.
okay, so I just put I just put my toe in the water. People are going to be really upset right now, including the two guys on the screen. So best abilities, availability, not always available. Not exactly. At the same time, it's the NFL. It's a contact sport. Same time you look at his age, more injuries are coming. He's going to Chicago. I mean, Mario, let's be honest. And people in Chicago think he's playing 17 games plus the playoffs. Probably not. Probably not. It's just the way his career has gone. And so for the Chargers, the amount of money he was supposed to get, what, $34 million? It's a lot of money, man, for Keenan Allen, a guy that age. That maybe this was the right time to say he wasn't willing to be a team guy with the new front office. We cut ties with him. We cut ties with Mike Williams. Again, it makes it easier for us to basically turn things around and going, this is the new culture of the Los Angeles Chargers.
All right, Mario, you want me to go first? Or you want to go first?
No, you go first because I have a lot to rebuttal, but you cook first.
All right. Let me talk about the things I agree with first. Do I agree that he missed too many games? Keenan Allen definitely missed too many games. Do I agree that he's getting paid a lot of money? Yeah, he's getting paid a lot of freaking money. Is he the leader of the freaking team? I mean, the entire team, the whole team.
Oh, a 5-win team? Leader of a 5-win team? Oh,
he's the leader. Dude, Keenan Allen is he's the most underrated player in the NFL since he's been drafted. Keenan Allen has been that guy. The team sucks, not because of him. He actually plays well when he's playing. He didn't miss most of the season. He missed a few games. Keenan Allen, I understand why they traded him because the money was a lot. But dude, don't ask him to freaking restructure his contract or take a pay cut. The guy actually balls out. Like, I just bothered me, man. Like a fourth round.
Is he better
pick,
than Tom Brady?
Is he better than
No,
Tom Brady? Yeah, Tom Brady doesn't play.
Time.
Tom Brady.
But Tom Brady restructured all the time. Equaled wins.
He's not the quarterback. Ask Justin Herbert to take a pay cut.
That was a terrible argument.
They will ask Justin Herbert to take a pay
cut.
Who cares? The greatest player of all time. They will ask Justin Herbert to restructure in the near future. It's coming. It's just the way it goes.
Dude, if Justin Herbert doesn't get his act together, and I'm a big Justin Herbert fan, he should restructure his deal. If you're not going to win a playoff game, restructure your deal. Like, that's the most team-friendly thing you can do, and that's what all the fans want. Win playoff games or restructure your deal because you're making $50 million a year. So Keenan Allen, from a fan's perspective, bothers the hell out of me, Mario. I'm so upset still. I understand why they did it. The fourth round pick, I thought they could have got a little more, even though there's only 1 year left on his deal. But it just bothers me that he's gone. I would have taken Khalil Mack gone. I would have taken Mike Williams gone. Would have taken Joey Bosa gone for sure. Keenan Allen is the last guy I wanted to leave because he's a San Diego Charger. I'm San Diego born, and I'm a huge Keenan Allen fan. Behind Phillip Rivers, it's probably my second favorite Charger of all time.
Okay, yeah, I agree with a lot of Josh said. We'll rewind to the Brady thing really quickly. First off, one, we'll probably never see that again of that guy taking that little money. Two, he was in an organization where Bill Belichick would rather pay his dog than pay Tom Brady. I am just gonna watch that. Like, dude, come on, man. We're like, let's not compare this to Tom Brady.
One win
With Keenan Allen, it's okay. Well, Keenan Allen, though, like, I agree with Josh. Probably the best Charger receiver in history. Constantly delivered. And like the games I get it when people are saying miss a lot of games, miss a lot of games. At some point last year, it just didn't make sense for him to play anymore. Like, if he had a cramp, I'd be like, all right, you got a cramp? All right, you're not going to play. Like, it made no sense for him to play last year. And then you look at the year before that, yes, there were some injuries. I punched myself in the face for freaking one time because he didn't come back. But since 2017, you look at it, 16 games played. 2018, 16 games played. 19, 16 games played. 2020, 14 games played. 2021, 16 games played. Besides his last 2 years, where I would say this past season barely counts because of the win-loss record the Chargers had and just made no sense for him to play, he was pretty reliable. Now, do I think he's going to play the full 17 games for the Bears next season? Probably not. He'll probably miss a couple, which is fine. That's every player is going to in the NFL. But that being said, I'm rattled that he's gone. I think out of all of the core guys that was repeatedly talked about, he was the one that they should have done the most, I think, to stay because he was so reliable for Herbert. You want to talk a guy that just wasn't productive? And he went to the Jets today, and good luck with the Jets. But like Mike Williams was that. You know how many games we come on here when you go, where was Mike Williams today? He was gone. At least in Keenan Allen, it was third and Allen. Like at least on every third down, Keenan Allen was somehow open. The only complaint I have with Allen was that his yak wasn't always the best. I wish he was a little bit better at that. But he was always Mr. Reliable, and he was always reliable for the Chargers in every single way. And now, Dave, with him gone, I look at the Chargers and I go, I don't know how you're going to tell us that you're going to be competitive this year. I really, really don't. I understand, Greg Roman, you want to hand the ball off, and you guys really want to just punch guys in the face on the run game. But it's also hard to punch in the face on the run game when you have no way to pass the ball. Like if the team's just going to pack a box and then you have Quinn Johnson on one-on-one or Joshua Palmer on a one-on-one, you got a pretty good lockdown corner. I'm going to take my chances. Like that to me is like, I'm getting kind of concerned, Dave, that they're not building a team that's going to be ready to compete in a very competitive division that can get a lot better after the draft based on how other teams move.
All right, you're panicking right now. The Super Bowl is 5 weeks ago.
Hell yeah, I'm
it's
panicking.
It's not even Easter yet. We haven't had the draft.
I just had therapy today.
Like, calm down, lock it up. We're going to be okay. Look, here's the deal. We said when Harbaugh came in, we're going to sit there and let things take shape, take form to what this new team, this culture, everything is going to be. Don't panic yet. I'm telling you right now, because if it was the same head coach as before and the same GM as before, yeah, I would be sitting there going, these guys messing it up again. This is what they're doing. We have no idea what the final plan is. We haven't been in those meetings. For the guy who's always known as the negative one on this show, I feel like I'm the only one that's positive, that I believe in these moves. Whether it's Williams gone, whether it's Keenan Allen gone, not a huge fan of Bosa, but they see something there. I'm glad that Mac's coming back. Justin Herbert's going to have somebody to throw to. He's going to have somebody that's going to block for him. They're going to be better than the 5 wins they had last year, because last year wasn't good. There's a reason why there's a new head coach and a new GM. This franchise, I believe, for the first time, as long as I've been alive, is headed in the right direction. Okay, so right now, Keenan Allen's gone, but let's be honest. Keenan Allen would have been retired anyway in a few years. How many more years do you think Keenan Allen plays? 2, 3, 4? How many years do you think he has? I'd say 2. After 2 years, Keenan Allen's gone. Mike Williams, you're right. Mario, Mike Williams was a mistake. One of the biggest mistakes in franchise history when you go back and look at old drafts and again say, we took Mike Williams in front of Christian McCaffrey. How in the hell did we mess that up so bad? And then overall, you're going to look at a new offensive line with guys that are going to help. Justin Herbert, I believe you will get the people you need to help move the ball down the field, and also more importantly, guys to stop the ball. We'll talk about the move they brought in today, but Mike Williams leaving, Mario sending out in our group text, I was bye. I mean, I was so frustrated with Mike Williams not being the player I thought he was going to be when he came to the Chargers. Keenan Allen, honestly, he's that guy that should end up in that Ring of Honor one day, Keenan Allen's number 13 should be up in that Ring of Honor. He did enough in a Charger uniform where he's one of the best. Quick question before we move on from Keenan Allen, unless you guys are going to yell at me some more. Who's wearing 13 in Chicago, Mario? Keenan Allen or Caleb Williams?
Oof, probably Keenan. I feel like Caleb's going to take one.
It's good. Yes, that's a good number to keep.
Like at Fields.
Good guy.
Yeah.
Justin Fields did fantastic with it.
See,
Go ahead.
He's in Pitt.
Josh is ready to yell at me. One of you guys are ready to yell at me. I
Yeah.
can see it in your eyes.
I'm not
Look like
ready.
you wanna
I'm not
punch me in
ready
the
to yell
face.
you. It's just bad contracts. Mike Williams is completely overpaid. He's a number 2. Mike Williams is a number 2 receiver. No matter what team he's on, he's still the number 2 with the Jets. I'm taking Garrett Wilson over Mike Williams. Mike Williams makes plays when he plays. Mike Williams misses just as many games as Keenan Allen or more. Both guys miss a ton of games. Bad contracts, Mario. J.C. Jackson, awful. Joey Bosa, awful. So let's just move on to Mike Williams. I don't want to talk about the Keenan Allen thing anymore. I'm still upset about it. I still believe in Joe Ortiz and Jim Harbaugh until after the season or during the season when things actually happen. The draft coming up in a month. Obviously, we're looking forward to that. People are leaning towards Marvin Harrison Jr. being a Charger now, which is very exciting. But Mike Williams going to the Jets, I'm with Dave. I felt the same way. Bye. Because when Keenan Allen got traded, I thought, oh my God, there might be a chance we bring back Mike Williams. And then when he leaves, I'm thinking, let's just move forward. Let's move forward with this new group of receivers. If we have Marvin Harrison Jr. and Josh Palmer, it's not the worst thing in the world. Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to be a big-time receiver. So is Malik Neighbors. I really feel like we have to end up with one of those guys now, Mario. Everybody's talking about people trading up for quarterbacks. What do you want to talk about? You want to talk about Mike Williams? You want to talk about Chargers getting Marvin Harrison Jr.? Where do you want to lean on this?
Where are you on Mike Williams? I want to go with Mike Williams because I find it fascinating that if Mike Williams, Mario, and it goes to the Jets thinking he's going to play with Aaron Rodgers, and Aaron Rodgers all of a sudden decides he's going to be vice president and doesn't play for the Jets this year, I find it fascinating what's going to happen in New York. Like, it might be a real bad business decision for Mike Williams.
That would be one. Talk about just the most Jets thing of all time, too, if that happening. Like the one time you get like a quarterback who runs for vice president, tears his Achilles and goes for president. Like, God, that's not a bingo card. Yeah, the Mike Williams thing to the New York Jets. I mean, that makes sense, honestly, for the Jets move. Like, you might as well. You're already dug so far deep in this all-in moment. You might as well try to get Mike Williams. Like, you might as well just try to dig yourself deeper in this moment. It makes sense. And Williams probably wants to compete. He probably didn't want to go to the Panthers where they weren't going to compete this year. So he's like, yeah, I'll go to New York Jets, play with one of the most talented quarterbacks of all time. Bank on things kind of figuring out and happening. And now they have a lot of talent there. And, we'll see what happens. But I don't expect a lot from him this year. You look at guy that's, past 2 seasons, 13 games last year, 3 games this year, hasn't really played a lot. Production's been a little slow. I get what you're saying, Josh. Like, it's smart that, you're getting rid of the bad contracts. And the thing that was worrying me is I was with you, right? And there's a thumbs up randomly, but I was with you. Like, now this screams out to me, Neighbors is at 5. Like, it's got to be Neighbors. It has to be. You can't take a tackle anymore. You can't take an alignment. I don't care what your strategy is. You have to take a freaking wideout. You have to. But then I'm looking at mock drafts today because I'm curious. I'm looking at them. And they all scream out, Chargers trade. Chargers trade 5. Chargers get an alignment. Chargers do this. They say they're going to wait to the 2nd round pick because it's a very deep wide receiver class. I don't care how deep the receiver class is. I really, really don't. I know you want to protect Fields. Not Fields, Herbert.
Oh.
I know. But I swear to God, you have to get a receiver now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think there's an option. You have to get one.
Could you get the Washington kid at 11?
Yeah, you could.
Yeah, you could.
Hold on. Could you get the Washington
really
kid at
could.
11 and trade with the Vikings?
So that was the thing. Is the trade from the Vikings was what I was seeing a lot today. Because Vikings apparently are desperate.
Oh, they should be. They should be.
Yeah.
The most likely trade partner for the Chargers is the Vikings. You see that everywhere. Mario, my issue with that is be so careful of trading down. There's a lot of receivers in the draft. I get it. How many number 1 receivers are in the draft? 2 for sure. And maybe Rome, right? Rome's really good. He could be a number 1 receiver. But Neighbors and Harrison Jr. are number 1 receivers. And right now, you have a number 2.5 in Josh Palmer. So don't go into the season with freaking Joe Alt protecting Justin Herbert, throwing the ball to nobody. Okay? If you're going to trade down, you better get a freaking number 1 receiver because there's only 2 of them and maybe 3. So you better be very careful.
He's
Yeah,
not wrong.
what do you think,
I mean,
Dave?
god dang, right now, yeah, no, Josh isn't wrong. I mean, right now, people like Mario are very frustrated, going, what's going on? You're seeing all these other teams that are making moves, and I understand, normally it is a time to panic. But Josh, if you get Joe Alt, you aren't getting Joe Alt or any
Dude.
other of these offensive linemen to protect Herbert from from the defensive backs. You're or a defensive lineman. You're getting Joe Alt to protect him from the fans. They're going to be running on the field trying to kill somebody. They're going to be super pissed. We're past the stage of offensive line with the number 5 pick. I'm sorry, but there are no weapons right now. We're all looking around. There are no weapons. What are we going to do?
Yeah,
If they
Justin
keep the 5
Herbert's
pick,
looking
you
for a
gotta take
weapon. He
wide
finds a
receiver.
butter knife. There's no weapons. It's
Fork.
ridiculous. I don't
Get a
understand
spork
how
from KFC.
anybody can.
Yeah.
I don't understand how anybody could seriously say you want Joe Alt. Good player, maybe a great player. He's never played right tackle a day in his life. How could you possibly say that? Ask Justin Herbert. He's not going to talk. He never talks to anybody. Ask Justin Herbert, what do you want? You want the freaking Ferrari, or you want the guy that's going to block for you? You got to get the Ferrari, dude. Marvin Harrison Jr. and Malik Neighbors. There's no shot, Mario. No shot they don't get one of those guys.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. Like, I understand Joe always was talking about earlier in his press conference. He's big on like building up capital and stuff like that. But at the same time, I think if you don't take a wide receiver in that first round, which I'm with you, Josh, they desperately need to. Like, you have to. Please for a second, remember the Bengals. Remember what the Bengals did. Like, let's just remember that. They went, they got Chase, and then boom, they went off running, and then you can build the O-line slowly but surely. You can build. I think if they don't take it in the 5th round, in the 5th pick, they got to trade up quickly in the 2nd or get something maybe later in the 1st and get the other, what was his name? Thomas Jr., the other LSU wideout. Like, you got to make some type of move, or you get Rome because right now, if they know Jeremiah released something, Dave, that the Chargers trade the Vikings and they still take an O lineman. I do not know how to say this guy's name. I'm not going to try to because I don't want to butcher it because I butcher it
From Oregon State.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. He's great.
Yeah, no, he's really good. I'll work on pronouncing his name next time. But they take him at 10, and Rome could still be there because I don't think the Bears are going to draft a receiver anymore at 9. If they did, that's just get every receiver you can then. But they have to. Would you be pissed, Dave, if they went back-to-back receivers? Like, that's actually something that I wouldn't be opposed to either, just because the position needs filled.
All right. For me, the way I look at it is if you have, one of your guys, let's say at number 5, like, you're sitting there going Harrison Jr. or Neighbors and go, man, those guys are that good. There's that big of a separation to the 3rd guy, which is the Washington wide receiver. And then you go, you know what, we don't want to go receiver. We still think we can go further back. If there's going to be a rush on quarterbacks, we all know it. We can all see it coming, right? Like to see every one of these quarterbacks are going to be taking the first 11, 12 picks of this draft. But when you're looking at what the Chargers are doing, if they say we got to stack picks, man, there's so many holes still in our roster that you jump back and say we still can get the number 1 corner or number 2 receiver or number 2 corner, and then we also were adding picks to the end of the 1st round or 2nd round, whatever. That you're at least saying, it's a chance for us to gain a foundation that's going to help us for the next 5 years, not just the year by getting that one guy. It's that step that we don't know about in their eyes of the difference of what we believe are the top 2 wide receivers compared to wide receiver number 3 or wide receiver number 4. If they went corner, guys, let's say with they trade back into the 11th pick and they go corner number 1, how can you sit there and complain? You say no, Josh?
What do you mean? How could I'm going to complain right now? Who's Justin Herbert going to throw the ball to?
I got it. Well, I'm just saying.
What do you mean you got it? There's nobody to throw the ball to.
We don't. Guess what? There's weaknesses all over the place,
dude. Oh, great! Let's get a big time corner and have a bunch of 3 to 6 games. Is that what you want?
The walls are leaking. There's only so many fingers.
Look,
god dang, how many fingers are you going to stick in the dike? Damn.
Look, what do you say?
What?
Not moving on.
Neighbors or Harrison Jr., and that's it. If you're going to trade down, go ahead, as long as you get Harrison Jr. or Neighbors, okay? Get the cornerback with your 2nd pick or the tackle. I don't care. Get the receiver. Get Justin Herbert, somebody he can pair up with for the rest of his career or for the biggest part of his career when it matters the most and the Chargers can actually win some playoff games. That's all I care about. Receiver, worry about the rest later. That's it.
Yeah. I'm with you. It's I mean, I wouldn't even be pissed off right now if they win. Like, OBJ's out there. I don't think he's the most exceptional talent, but you can get him on the 1-year deal. Get him something. Like, if you don't take a receiver in the first round, I would say, look, you have Mike Thomas out there. He's a little, obviously not what he used to be. He's damaged goods, but you can get him on a cheap deal and just hope that he's a little bit something. Go get OBJ. Screw it. He's damaged goods. Could be a little bit something. At least they have experience in the NFL. They have experience in the locker room. OBJ was a Raven. There's obviously a highly big connection between the Ravens and the Chargers right now with the Harbaughs and Joe coming from there. Maybe go along that route. The corner, obviously, there's a lot of needs that they have. I think they can address the corner in the second round. I think they can address that there. The receiver has to be filled. You just gave away your 2 top receivers. You said that, Josh. Joshua Palmer is a good 2.5 receiver. He's 2.5. 2 at best. Very good receiver. We just saw Quinn Johnson's sure as hell not ready. Boy, is he not ready to be a number 2. He's barely ready to be a number 3 right now. Barely ready to be number 3. They need it's receiver. It's just, for the love of God, receiver. I love running the ball too. It's great, but it's not 1996. It's not 1998. It's not 2004. We don't have Frank Gore behind us. Receiver.
All right, so let me ask you a question. Let's say the Chargers drafted Puka last year, and Puka had the same year with the Rams that he would have with the Chargers. Would you still be saying you draft a receiver in the first round? You wouldn't, right? You'd go, we got someone that we got to sit there and add to this guy in round 3 or 4 or whatever. But you wouldn't be saying first round. You have to have Puka. Another guy like him, you would just say, we already got a guy like Puka. We don't need another Marvin Harrison Jr. or Neighbors, right? It's because they messed it up so bad last year that you're basically making up for your failure as a first round pick a year ago. That's what this franchise has always been, where they step in it and then you got to sit there and buy another new pair of shoes. This is where they are. So with the Chargers trying to figure this thing out, this is why I have faith in whatever direction they go. The only thing that will upset me on draft day is if they get Joe Alt, which means they're going to get Joe Alt. But just for the reason Josh said, you're asking him to play a position that he's never played before. You guys ever see the movie The Blind Side? Yeah, we've all seen it. Never seen the front side. Okay, you know why? Because Joe Alt didn't want to play that position. He knew that was a position over there that makes the money. That's where the fame comes from, playing offensive line. He never went to the coach and said, no, I'll go the easy way out. I want to be able to block a guy where the quarterback can see him coming. No, that's not it. I don't want Joe Alt. I don't want to see a guy you have to train to play a new position at the professional level.
You ever try to eat with your left hand or pee with your left hand or brush your teeth with your left hand?
Put your toothbrush in your ear.
Pretty hard.
Yeah, and guess what? You're not blocking a 260-pound defensive end. Okay, that's what it's like. You're doing something completely opposite of what you're used to. Let me read to you guys the Chargers depth chart. And once again, I'm not freaking out. I'm just saying they got to get a receiver. This is why. This is the current players on the Chargers depth chart. You got Gus Edwards. That's fine. He's a placeholder. He's a good running back. 18 touchdowns last year. Josh Palmer, number 2.5 receiver. Quentin Johnston, as of now, number 4 receiver. Darius Davis, more of a special teams guy. Will Disley, a blocking tight end. Hayden Hurst. He's been on 5 or 6 teams already in the 4 or 5 years he's been in the league. That is your weapons. You can't tell me you need a tackle. There's no way. No way in hell. You cannot convince me they need a tackle. They need a receiver. And guess what? You can do it again in the second round. And then you can do it again in the third round. I don't care. You need so many receivers on this team. It's not even funny. Dude, if the Chargers draft a tackle, I'm done.
So you mentioned it. You could
if there's podcasts, I don't think they have one.
So I got a second round. I got a second day guy that I think we could be pretty pumped about though. Let's watch him today. Getting a little excited. Hear me out on him. Troy Franklin, Oregon. Quick, fast, great yards after catch, fantastic yards after catch. Stop me if we've had that the past 2 years. The answer is hell no. Quinn Johnson can't figure out how to do that. Okay. Not the best attack in the football, but we're working on it. But in 2022, his QB rating when targeted was 140.6. That's pretty freaking good, folks. Almost cussed. 2023, when targeted, 146.8, 17.1 yards per catch, 1,383 yards on 81 catches and 14 touchdowns. Gentlemen, that makes you want to make out with the bulldog that lives right next door of how freaking awesome that is. That's my day 2 guy that I think we could get for a receiver if we don't get in the first round. But my worry is like the Puka. I understand Puka Nacua later in the rounds. Keenan Allen was the 3rd round. People say that. That being said, those are really, really hard finds. And you got to think about like Puka Nacua was in a pretty great system. That's a pass first system. I don't know if we're going to get that right off the bat with a Greg Roman that's a very run centered offense. I don't know. But that being said, I am kind of for the strategy of, they say draft the QB till you get it right. I'm fine with the Chargers strategy. Go, let's just draft every wideout until we get it right. This is a deep class. Let's just freaking go with it. I'm kidding, of course.
It's like
but you get what I mean. I'm desperate.
It's like the Angels, and a few years ago in the baseball draft, drafted nothing but pitchers. Every round, they just drafted a pitcher. And they still stink, but they just drafted pitchers. I love how we're already on day 2. Like we haven't figured out day 1, and Mario was talking about sloppy seconds already. What are we doing here?
Yeah.
I tell you, the guy who I think is going to fall 2nd round, since you just opened up the door, I think Kool-Aid McKinstry is going to fall 2nd round. I think he might be available for you right there.
Why is that? Did anybody watch college football this past 3 years? The guy's elite. Guarded the number 1 receiver every game. He was the guy that guarded the number 1 receiver every single game. I don't understand how he's not going to be 1st round. If he falls to the 2nd into the Chargers' lap, take him. I'm with Mario, though. There's so many receivers. Draft multiple receivers. Why not? You're going to hit on probably one of them.
You need
Draft
him.
2 or 3. What's his name? Leggett from South Carolina. Dude's a freak also. Go watch his highlights whenever you have some time. There's so many receivers in the draft, but there's only 2 number 1 receivers and maybe 3. So get one of them.
Yeah, I agree. Maybe
Let's
get
go
an
to the
edge guy
questions.
too.
When you
Go
guys
ahead,
are looking at when you guys are looking at these mock drafts, I haven't gone out of my way to really look at any of them yet. I'll do it later on. But when you're looking at these mock drafts, where's Brock Bowers in these?
I'll look at the one today.
He's falling tremendously.
Is he falling?
Yeah, he is.
This one has him at 12 to Denver.
What about is he falling past Cincinnati? Oh shoot, that would suck.
I mean Cincinnati's after Broncos, so no. This one has. This is Daniel Jeremiah who posted this and tweeted, "I choose chaos," or he tweeted something like that. I think we're flirting with the point where these mock draft guys are just going for the take. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they're going for the hits and stuff. Well, Jeremiah at least is a Charger guy. At least Jeremiah is a Chargers first guy. So I'm curious now, what did Jeremiah have them taken? What do you say?
I said before, it's the Oregon State offensive tackle, Talise.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
good God.
I mean, I told you guys that me pronouncing that was going to be a tough one.
I'll give you credit for trying on that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Wish you didn't, but all right, Michael.
You're the UCLA guy now.
Dude, if anybody listening to the show, go look up the full name of the kicker for the Texans on Wikipedia. It is absolutely unbelievable. Fairbairn, or whatever his name is. Look up what his real name is. All right, Michael Stan says, who's the best trade option for the Vikings, Chargers, or Cardinals if the Vikings move down to 4? Is Marvin a lock to the Chargers? I think he is a lock for the Chargers. I think the Chargers actually are the best trade partner for the Vikings because if they really want J.J. McCarthy, which everybody's pointing to, trade with the Chargers. I don't believe anybody really wants J.J. McCarthy as much as the Vikings do. Have you guys seen anything else besides the Vikings being the only team that really likes J.J. McCarthy?
That's why I think it's fake. I'll stand by what I said. I think it's fake. I don't think J.J. McCarthy is going to the Vikes. I think it's Drake May. Otherwise, it would stay quiet. Yep, I think it would stay quiet. I mean, come on. We were playing.
How could it stay quiet if you're going to trade up?
No, not that you trade up, but the guy that they want. I don't think it's McCarthy. I think he's a pawn.
What do you think, Mario?
That's just my feeling.
I don't know if it's a pawn, but I don't know. But we see this every time though. Like a guy this late kind of gets a little bit more heat. I do think it's smarter for the Vikings to trade with us than the Cardinals because it's outside of your conference, obviously. So like you're not going to see the not going to see the Chargers whichever way they go. So it's not like one of those, it's really bit us in the ass in the playoffs or anything like that. That being said, May is dropping. Like that's a QB that's going to drop, right? Like we can all agree on that. Like that could he is the guy that's going to drop. Daniels is obviously the one that's kind of taking that 2 spot from him. Like May's going to be this year's Will Levis and dropping QB wise.
I think Dave disagrees. Dave thinks he's going to go to the Vikings.
I think May goes to the Vikings.
Further.
And I'll tell you, you look at the quarterback, or excuse me, the coach for the Vikings, O'Connell, tall quarterback. Was Tom Brady's backup, another tall quarterback. I think he has fallen in love with this guy because he sees himself and he sees Tom Brady. I'm telling you, I think it's May. It's going to the Vikings. Just my feeling. I think that's their choice.
I like May.
If it's JJ, a 6'2" quarterback, would surprise me. What's Matt Stafford? 6'5"? Did he win a Super Bowl with Stafford when he was OC with the Rams? I think he likes those big, tall quarterbacks.
And they say Raiders like JJ too, right? Is that the other
Raiders
rumor?
haven't done anything right. I mean, honestly, when's the last time the Raiders did something right?
Never.
By the way, Vegas odds. I know, Mario, you pay attention to this more than I do, but according to Vegas odds, the Chiefs right now, as of March 19th, are the favorites to win the AFC West. Then it's the Chargers, number 2. How about that? Raiders, then Broncos.
Chargers should be the number 2 team. The only team that has a quarterback besides the Chiefs.
They're going by quarterbacks. And we're not into the show without talking about the goddamn Steeler quarterback situation, by the way, which is fascinating. And Mario has a front row seat to it, but we're going to get to that in the show too. I'm sorry. If you have more comments you want to get to, Josh, go ahead.
I got one more. Isaiah Francis says, "How do you guys feel about drafting right tackle Rosengarten in a later round? He technically blocked Penix's blind side since he was a lefty quarterback." Dude, I'm all for drafting right tackles to play right tackle. I'm all for it. If you can get a right tackle that plays right tackle that's really good, do it. We obviously need it. What's his name? Drawing a complete blank. Pickens is not it. I mean, anybody that watches the games knows Pipkins isn't it. So yeah, we definitely need a right tackle.
Yeah, I'm with it. Obviously experience at a high program too, watching this past year. That's good value in a later round too, as well, where he can be a little bit more dangerous and get an offensive weapon in the earlier rounds. I'm for it. We'll see. I'm pretty sure his something about his production score was low. I can't remember if his athleticism or production score. His production score got dinged a little bit. But athleticism score, I mean, it's an 83, 6th ranked offensive tackle. Like, I'm all for that, Dave.
Yeah. Again, it's hard to figure out what the plan is with this franchise because we've never seen them draft, right, and represent the Chargers. We don't know. I mean, we're all blind as can be. I'm looking at some of the comments that people are asking if we have any inside draft info. No, we don't. I mean, there's not the fact that it's not that we don't know anyone over there. You just don't know what direction. I mean, anyone who gets a new job wants to impress as soon as they can. I mean, here you are. You're on the biggest stage in the NFL, and you need to impress. All they know is the fan base is looking and going, what do you mean Keenan Allen's not there anymore? Mike Williams isn't there anymore. That guys have been subtracted off this team that were fan favorites on a team that only had 5 wins. This is their first big move. And so I expect them to hit a home run with this move, guys. Now, whether it's trade back, fine. Now, imagine if they did something completely crazy. All right. I'm going to go. The craziest thing that I think would upset Charger fans the most. You trade back so far that you just take yourself out of the first round for this year. Would you lose your mind?
I would lose my mind if the Chargers traded out of the first round.
If they just said, we're trading out of the first round and we're trading for 2 first-round picks next year or 2 second-round picks the following, whatever it is, 2 second rounds, 2 third rounds, 2 fourth rounds in the 2025 draft, would you be okay with that, or will you just walk out the door? Just go, that's it. See you guys in a week when I calm down.
Well, walk
out the door. So you're telling me I've been hyped since the season ended for this draft, and then we're going to trade out of the first round? Dude, I'd freak out.
Yeah, if they pull that move, we're like, all right, I guess I'm not doing anything today. Just put your cold beer back in the refrigerator with the top still open.
I would literally say, like, do we have every position figured out? Like, I think you don't make that move unless you are pretty, 110% on every spot. And you're like, hey, we'll do it. We'll just run it back next year with more capital. Like, I would be like fuming. I'm like, all right, guys, what is going on? What's in the coffee over there? Because I guarantee you're putting a little too much in it. What's up, fellas? Like, what are we doing here?
Okay, let me throw another scenario at both you guys. Remember, the Ravens have done a really good job, right, in the draft. They do every year. The Ravens also always pick in the 20s somewhere. What if the Chargers pushed all the way back? So we can still get a quality player and continue to add picks if we trade all the way back into the 20s, not just number 11 or 12, but we're going all the way back in the 20s to load up with even more and more picks. Are you okay with that?
I'm extremely firm on the Marvin Harrison Jr. Malik Neighbors situation. I don't know how many times I have to say this.
Dude, just tweet that out when they get drafted by someone else and like pick 6, 7, or 8. When you're just going, I was extremely firm. Didn't the Chargers know this?
I've made myself very clear that I want Marvin Harrison Jr. or Malik Neighbors. And when somebody asked a second ago, do you have any insight? I do have some insight, actually. They're going to get Marvin Harrison Jr. because they only like guys whose last names start with H. Harbaugh, Ortiz, Herbert, new strength and conditioning coach is also Herbert. Harrison, going to happen.
Ooh, I like that.
Heard it here first.
I also think too, like in terms of, I feel like I would say the one thing I like currently though, like the Chargers are doing, is that you can tell they're keeping everything like very close to the chest. Like the Allen move coming out of nowhere. Like I like how that was a close to the chest move and not like a rumor move.
I don't think
that they
Mario, I
close
don't
to the
think
vest.
they knew. Mario,
yeah,
I don't think they knew, Mario.
Vest, chest, whatever it's called.
Close to the vest. I don't think they knew up until 2 hours before it happened. Honestly, I don't think they had any idea that he wasn't going to be a team player.
No, I think they knew, but like I like how the fact that there's no leaks and the rumors started, I think is a very healthy start. I think there's nothing worse than like a rumor first and then like for example, every the Bears the fields like there was a rumor first and that rumor killed the value of anything for him. And then they got, traded for nothing. Like I think that's, do you get what I'm saying? I'm making it.
Okay, hold on.
In my
Two
head,
things.
I'm making not a bad point.
If Keenan Allen told them ahead of time, I'm not restructuring, do they let Mike Williams go? Probably not. Aren't you keeping Mike Williams? Yeah.
How do you not have that conversation with Keenan Allen before you talk to him? Like, shouldn't you know what he's going to do before you make a huge decision? I
think they just assume that this veteran's not going anywhere. I'm not leaving, and then, hey, guess what? I'm leaving. As far as Justin Fields, it had nothing to do with the rumors. How about the fact he finished 18 games under 500 as a starting quarterback? Maybe that hurt his value.
Okay, yeah. It's just ton of potential. All right,
I just want you to turn on Justin Fields so bad now, Mario, that now that he's not associated with the city you live in, now it's time to turn on him.
He's the best backup in the league. Huh, Mario?
Yeah, he is. I'd say it's accurate. Yeah. He's best backup in the league.
Yeah, it's being the smartest guy in the dumb class or best backup in the league. Who cares?
Hey, that's like when I failed the ice step and I got put with the class with the dum-dums and I was the smartest in there. Felt great. Loved every day going in there.
I want to talk about another move the Chargers made, a couple more moves the Chargers made that we should get to. Bradley Bozeman, personal friend of mine, gets picked up as the new center for the Chargers. I think it's huge. Obviously, a guy that came from a great offensive line with the Ravens. Greg Roman knows him very well. He's a very smart guy. Knew him back at Alabama. Good dude. Like, really good dude. He's like the Walter Payton Man of the Year nominee every single year. But he's a really good football player. He's really smart. And I think the Chargers picked up the center that they desperately need. Now we don't have to worry about that in the draft. And then I know we don't like to talk bad about people too much because it makes it seem like haters. Dude, when Michael Davis found his new team, I was like, bye. I didn't feel any way about Michael Davis other than bye. The comments on the Chargers Instagram for Michael Davis's departure were brutal. People really hate Michael Davis. And I don't hate him.
I just think he wasn't. You pointed the finger at him more than anybody. I blame you. You started the whole thing.
You did.
What do you mean point? I just watched the games. The guy was horrible. Nobody
poured more gas into a match on that guy than you.
I just said I don't hate him.
Tape on this one.
I don't hate him. I just don't like him. Like, people in the comments are like saying awful things I can't say on the show. Come on.
It's probably all stuff repeating you. There's not a guy I've ever heard you talk about you rip more than him. Ever.
Hey, he sucks. I'm not going to say he doesn't suck, but I don't hate him. There's a difference. You could say somebody sucks. Not that I hate their guts. I don't hate his guts. I'm happy he's not on the team. For sure, he sucks. Dude, him and J.C. Jackson were the worst parts of the team last year. Like, those guys got burned every single game. It was horrible. Yeah, I mean, I don't miss him.
Actually, in the comments, it said every comment that dissed them, it was a ... led by Josh Palais. It was crazy.
Dude, 100%.
I missed one more. Sorry, real quick. And then Denzel Perryman
Yeah,
comes
you missed
back.
one.
Thank you, Jack Agnew,
Yeah.
for bringing that up. I liked Denzel when he was a Charger. I'm excited for him to come back to the team. He's performed well with his other teams. So Denzel Perryman, I'm pretty hyped about too.
I like Denzel a lot. Okay, so the question I have for you, I like Denzel as a person. If you ever see anyone who's ever met Denzel Perryman, he is so small. It is amazing. He's
Dude,
an
he
NFL
is
player.
tiny.
It is crazy, man. I mean, he's like Darren Sproles size. You're like, what the hell's going on over there? But I'm glad he's back in a Charger uniform. I love the Instagram thing where he called Derwin James and he said, "Hey man, it's official, I'm back. But how much is it going to cost to get that number 3?" And he played it off like he was trying to buy number 3 from Derwin James. And Derwin James, like, get that fat here. It was good stuff. But it's awesome to see him back, man. It's a guy that lasts in this league a lot longer than I expected. So my question for you, since the Chargers lost Keenan Allen, one of the last remaining San Diego Chargers, because Bosa is the only one now, is Perriman coming back? Is he considered a San Diego Charger?
Yeah, he played for the San Diego Chargers. Why wouldn't that count?
That?
Yeah,
Can you imagine he's the last one on the list? Like who's like the trivia question, who was the last San Diego Charger? Denzel Perriman.
That's funny.
Weird. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, Joey Bosa is
very true.
Non-producing assets on the team, so
I'm glad he's back though. I think Perriman's good for the locker room.
I'll go. There's a question for you on here.
For who?
For you.
Ah, damn it. I hate that these people are turning on me. I'm looking at some of these notes on here, but everyone just blames me for everything. Go ahead.
I don't know why they blame you for anything. You don't play a game. Miguel Alvarez says, okay, but why do you kind of hate Joey Bosa? I don't know why. And it says laugh out loud. First off, there's no laugh out loud. There's no kind of. So go ahead.
Yeah, I like guys that basically get paid, agree to do the job, and then show up and do the best of their ability. I don't care what job it is. I've said it to my kids for years. We go through the drive-through all the time after I work a radio show, and I'm going to see that guy behind the window. That guy works a lot tougher, a lot harder day than I do, by far. I make a lot more money than he does. He works his ass off. Guess what? He agreed to do this job, and because of it, you're going to do the best you can. It doesn't matter what you do for a living. If you agree to accept a paycheck, you give the best effort you possibly can. Joey Bosa does not do that. Sorry, I was always believed that, hey, if someone's willing to pay you, then you owe them your best effort. And he doesn't do that game in and game out, season after season. And I'm tired of watching him half-ass it. He has all the ability in the world. He's capable of so much more, and he doesn't do it. So, yeah, there's a lot of frustration there. Now, if Joey Bosa walked in the front door right now and knocked my head off, I probably couldn't defend myself, okay? But that being said, he's not doing that. You know why? Too lazy to walk through that door. He's too lazy. All right, that's it, man. That's my Bosa feeling. I'm sorry. All right, so I want to ask you about this Justin Fields thing, Mario, okay? Quarterback situation.
Yeah.
I don't understand. I think the Steelers usually are one of the best run organizations. Can't understand what they're doing. As they say all the time, when you have 2 quarterbacks, you have no quarterbacks. You make the move for Russell Wilson, that's fine. All of a sudden, shocks everybody in the NFL. Justin Fields is going to Pittsburgh for nothing. It shows you where his value is. I think surprised a lot of people. Everyone knew when Cousins went to Atlanta, that means Fields wasn't going to Atlanta. But it seemed like there are a lot of teams out there that could have used Fields or would have been excited, including the Raiders, which they obviously weren't because the return for the trade wasn't a lot. But then Fields is supposed to learn from Russell Wilson, so maybe that's a year, which is kind of always bizarre for number 1 overall pick. But now all of a sudden Steelers come out and they double down and say, we're looking to sign Russell Wilson to an extension. What did you see that you want to sign a 35-year-old man to an extension that has underachieved since he left Seattle? I don't know what the Steelers are doing. All of a sudden, the Steelers and Commanders are fighting for the worst 2 run organizations in the NFL, which is saying a lot.
I think they're taking the strategy of, how it's pretty, I mentioned it earlier, but like a lot of GMs, a lot of analysts are saying until you get the QB spot right, just keep going for it in the draft. Like you might as well keep going for it. I think the Steelers are doing that, but just with veterans in the NFL. Okay, let's just we don't really know between Russell Wilson or Fields, so let's just get both. Like they're both cheap. You can get them for a cheaper deal. So I think that's the strategy they're going with. Like, hey, let's just get both. I think, and Sean Morash said this earlier to me, and I completely agreed with him. At the end of the 2024 season, one of those 2 guys is gonna be on a different team. I think we're gonna hit 3 games in a season, and either Fields is a starter and Russell Wilson's traded, or Russell Wilson's a starter and Fields is then traded. I think that's exactly what's going to happen because people forget Fields is on 1 year left on his deal. He's got to get some money at the end of the next season. It's going to come down to whoever wins a job mid-season or whatever. The other one's going to get the boot. The Steelers are just going, we don't like anyone in the draft. We're not going to draft a QB right now. We don't want a rookie QB. So let's just go ahead, get 2 veterans. One of the 2 is going to pan out. Take the other one and kick them to the curb. I think that's the strategy they have, Josh. It rattled me. It didn't make sense to me. But when you look at what they spent for them, I guess it kind of makes sense. Like they really didn't spend anything for either of those guys.
Yeah, I'm kind of tired of the Justin Fields talk because he is a backup. Like that's how I feel about Justin Fields. I just want him to be successful as long as he's not playing the Chargers because he seems like an okay guy. But we talk about Justin Fields so much, not just us, but everybody. I'm like, dude, the guy's a backup for a reason. He's just not very good. And when Russell Wilson tweets out, "Welcome to the team," I'm like, dude, if I'm Justin Fields, I'm like, shut up.
So
Don't talk to me. I'm in his head. He probably thinks he's just as good or better than Russell Wilson. So Justin Fields to me, best of luck to him, but he is a backup, and maybe he can learn from Russell Wilson. But I'm really tired of all the Justin Fields talk.
Have you guys ever worked somewhere? I mean, I know I have, where the company hires somebody who is there to replace you, and then you're like, hey, we train them, show them how things are done around here. You got it, but everybody knows that guy's your replacement. Like they just hired your replacement. You're training him to do your job, and next thing you know, that guy's going to be out of a job. That's Russell Wilson. Like, dude, you are the dumbest guy in the facility if you don't realize why he's here. He's here to replace you sooner than later. Damn, you're dumb.
He's trying to play the good guy card. Like, look at me. I don't care. It's like, dude, we all know
he's the worst actor of all time. He's the worst actor of all time. Unless he's just that stupid. Sam Darnold's like, come on, dude, wake up.
But to me, Mario, he's past the point of like, dude, we just don't care. Like, you're weird. Well, you do plyometrics on the plane on the way to Europe. Like, you're just a weird dude. Like, I don't. Yeah, we don't care. We got to get to a couple more comments. You can always count on Eddie Ramirez for a non-football related comment. He says, "Did you guys watch Love is Blind season 6?" Dude, I gave up after Love is Blind season 3. You didn't watch Love is Blind. You're such a liar.
No, I don't watch it. I didn't even know it was a show.
Oh,
stay on topic, Eddie. Come on.
I think it's overrated. It's picked up a lot. Like people really love it right now. I didn't watch it after season 3. That's just how I feel. I don't know, Mario. Do you watch that show?
I never got me. Those never get me for some reason. Jersey Shore for reality TV, and that's about it for me.
All right. Miguel Alvarez again says, do you guys think that if for some reason Easton Stick is a starter, we would still be contenders with Harbaugh? Nope. No shot.
Sorry.
500 team. That's it.
Read the next one down from Josh, from Maurice.
From Maurice. Question. You guys are Bama fans. Do you hate Ohio State players? Yeah. I do.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. If you produce and you're on the pro team, all's forgiven.
How many Ohio State players produce on the Chargers? Joey Bosa doesn't.
Well, that's true. That's true.
Marvin Harrison Jr. produces. I'll love him.
Can you imagine if the Chargers' new move is the new general manager move is to just draft guys on offense from one rival school and the defense from the other rival school, so you get the best out of them in practice? They just beat the hell out of each other all week long. You know what I mean? Like Mario mentioned. Yeah. I think you mentioned like a Washington player. Like you got an Oregon quarterback, you get a Washington defensive back. You're gonna go after that guy all day long, right? Those two schools hate each other. You just sit there.
Did you see Marcus Mariota? Have you guys? Did I see that the other day? Marcus Mariota?
No.
The press conference. Dude, he has gray hair. He looked like he just did 8 years in office.
Really?
Dude, I was like, whoa, Marcus.
Does he look like Troy Polamalu all of a sudden?
Yeah, with short hair, but yeah, he had all gray hair. Or mostly gray hair.
Jeez. What happened?
Pretty wild, man.
Just for men.
Yeah.
Old men. Just for old men. I don't know what the hell happened to Troy Polamalu, dude. He looks like someone's grandmother all of a sudden. It's sad.
Dude, Ed Reed. Have you seen Ed Reed? Those were my two, everybody's two favorite safeties. They look like two old men. It's like make me feel old.
Yeah. Ed Reed looks terrible. What's going on?
I'm feeling really old, Josh. You can relate to this. Dave, I don't know if you can, but there's how there's like a new show about like Nickelodeon and how they were just really, really bad people and everything like that. They're like having a lot of the old actors that were like did the TV shows when we were younger, And seeing how old they are is making me feel really old because they're like in their 30s, like 35. And I'm like, wow, damn, getting up there.
Dude, I hate that. Have you seen when they
Yeah.
put the Sandlot guys together? They're all just old, middle-aged guys.
Yeah.
Dang, man.
Except the
I feel like
catcher
it's
who looks
old.
the same. Except
Yeah,
the
he looks
catcher
the
looks
same.
exactly the same.
Yeah.
Kind of weird.
Yeah.
There's got to
Yeah,
be that
can't get
one
any
guy
dates
that
because he looks like
does.
he's 12. Yeah.
It's always weird
Okay.
with like
Well-
child actors though, because they're way older than they are in the show. So when
Yeah.
you find out how old they really are, you're like, damn, that's like an old man now. It's like
Yeah.
super weird.
In the Spider-Man movies, like the early 2000s, I was listening to this interview one time. I don't remember the actor, but he was like the teacher, and he says the people that were playing his students were older than him, and were shaving in between scenes so they could look younger. I'm like, that's insane.
Then-
Really?
You watch movie? Yeah, you watch the movie. They're like 6'5", like 220. They're like, I'm 16. You're like, dude, this guy should be pulling guard.
I watch movies from the 80s where those high school movies. You're like, dude, these guys are not in high school. They're all old.
Yeah, yeah.
Who casted these people? You know what I mean?
You're doing
I
like,
don't know.
yeah.
What do you think, Dave?
It's
You
always
got a thought
funny.
on this?
No, I'm with you. I'm with you.
Can you think of
And all
a
the-
bad casting job as somebody that was way older than the part they played?
You got to give me some time on that one.
Okay,
Yeah,
what
but
about the
that's
chick from American Pie? That chick's way too old, right? She's too old to be in high school, right? The one that's in his room. That
Yeah,
girl
I know
looks
you're
old.
talking about. Yeah, I got a story about her, but I'll tell you off there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did they say what was the actress that 70s show where she was like supposed to be 17 and she was like 14 or 15? She lied about her
Kelso?
age.
Is her name Kelso?
No, the girl. She married
Ashton
Kutcher
Kutcher?
after. Yeah. She was like
Mila
crazy.
Kunis?
Like, yeah. Apparently she lied when she like first got on there. She said she wasn't 15. I mean, yeah, she said she was like 17 or 18 like that. That was crazy. Josh, you think? Ooh, good question. Josh, do you think right now you'd probably have to shave, but do you think right now you could audition for a high school role and get it?
No. What you think so?
No, I was just asking. I was just curious. I was actually. I
Could
bet you
you?
could still do college.
Could you be a narc, Mario? Could you be a undercover cop in a high school?
I bet I could actually, dude. If I cut my hair, I look like I'm 14. So like,
Dude,
if
you
I
could.
cut my hair, I think I could really get in there. Not, I could like do good in
Take
high
it
school.
easy, Chris Hansen. Yeah, I got you.
No, I didn't,
All right, let's
I
get the
didn't
hell
mean
out of
it
here.
like that.
Jesus,
Good
let's get
lord.
the hell out of here.
No,
And
it-
I was the one that
all
said it.
right. No, all right.
Jesus.
Well,
What are you doing here? Just brought some pizza in. What do you mean?
No.
Can I leave? Sure,
You-
go ahead.
Yeah,
That's
you got
all
three
time
three
video.
hours to bring some pizza. Can I leave? Yeah,
Go
we
ahead.
got 20 of Pennsylvania's finest waiting for you outside the door.
yeah. I don't think you're gonna leave, but go ahead. It's an all-time show.
All calm as can be. He's like, all calm as can be. Go ahead. Yeah, Pennsylvania's finest right outside. Do whatever you want. Fuzzy, I'd probably eat the pizza before you leave. You're not gonna get any pizza for a long time. Oh my
Do you
god.
think anyone ate that pizza like after they got him? Think anyone ate it?
Like the
Well,
cameraman's
I
like, can I have a slice?
Dude, if I was like someone in the back, I'd be like, I mean, boys,
Yeah.
pepperoni sausage.
Yeah.
Well,
3 hours
Allentown's
old though.
Allentown's best. What are we doing? Just gonna let it go to waste? Come on.
Yeah.
yeah.
That pizza
Well-
crossed state lines. I don't know if I touch it.
fair.
My favorite line in that Sopranos: "My pizza never hurt nobody." All right, let's get at it. This has gone right off the rails. All right, so again, we'll be back on Thursday. All right, I'm going to give you the time. Hold on, no, what time did I say we're going to do the show? 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock
1 o'clock.
Pacific time on Thursday.
It's not gonna
Okay.
change.
Okay, 1 o'clock
Yeah,
on
right.
Thursday.
Not if Dave's
Yeah,
on the
it's
show.
gonna change.
I know. I'm telling you right now, it can't.
You had
go
a good
more than
reason
40.
today, though. You want to share
You
why?
did have a good reason.
Yeah, I'll share it. As people, if you've been watching or listening to the show for a long time, or if you know Josh and I especially, people are aware that Josh's younger brother passed away. Someone gave him a pill that he thought was just going to take anxiety. I thought it was a Xanax pill, and it had fentanyl on it and killed him. And so Josh's younger brother passed away a few years ago, and because of that, I give talks and speeches to people. And as University of San Diego getting ready to go on spring break, my wife and I went and spoke to students to let them know what was going on with us and how you never think it's going to happen to you. So we shared our story, And I'll be honest with you, before Jake passed, I never knew what fentanyl was, never heard of it. And so, I try and do this as much as I can. My wife does the same thing. Today they asked Josh. He even said, if Josh is in town, we'd love to have him, but it's a lot. It's a lot. Obviously, worst moment of our family's lives. So today was a good excuse why we delayed the show. I was pleased that University of San Diego was nice enough to bring us in to share the message and hopefully save some lives and educate. So that's the way it goes. We will be back on Thursday at 1:00. Please, again, click the like button if you haven't done so already. Subscribe. We're getting up there in the numbers, so it's working. So thank you, thanks everyone so much. If you listen to the Bolt City podcast with the Odyssey app, thank you very much for that as well. You watch it on YouTube. Your comments, we'll go back. We look at all of them as you guys watch the show, even if you didn't see it live. It's great that you participate. Really, it's fantastic that you guys are doing the show with us. So we'll be back in 2 days. Again, for Mario Heron, Josh Palais, I'm Dave Palais. Go Chargers.